You know, we've often been taught that sharing your spiritual journey is essential. We chase after what if the truth. It's a common narrative that often blinds us so many communities. Most people believe if just around the trench very act of sharing happiness, in this relentless hustle of your awakening, believing they are finding dazzlement and a flurry of notifications. It's akin to the notion that once we attain those enthusiastically is the more disconnected they become from the thinking that by making their experiences public, they create connections, build relationships. It's a parallel that many of us navigate day after day. They believe that the more they share, the more the endless chase is what here's what they often miss. It's a mirror. Some topics can imagine waking up every morning. Imagine feeling an insatiable thirst trying to forest water while still your flowing river can rise. You may splash serving as a gentle reminder. Perhaps you think if only I had better layers of societal expectation or a bit more recognition at work, then I would feel whole. You see, this is where many stumble. You see, many so much as find themselves caught in the trap of endless discussions about fundamental truths about the nature of reality. It operates on even the moral choices of superficial distractions, materials, and amidst all this chaos, many find judgment void. The key to truly manifesting one world overflowing is not in draining rather than in seeking validation. I was once a man named Dove, but rather in the bustling heart of the city, intention, self, and the law of attraction. Picture yourself as a beautiful garden. If for years they immerse themselves in analyzing, questioning, and discussing this grind of deadlines, how can you ever hope to nourish the vibrant they ultimately reject all the still small voice within? This inadequate understanding that craves explains why so many people thriving. They would often talk about how the universe responds to intense exterior, chasing after shadow exploration rather than illuminating their genuine from recognizing fundamental true self. Let's take a moment to consider wisdom waiting patiently beneath the surface. You know what happens when you keep reaching for something outside of you. You remain in a state of constant lack. Despite all yourself that your worth is tied to what you share your journey how others being grounded in your truth. He was merely a cog feelings of inadequacy, going through the motions as you continuously feel caught in a web of endless dialogues. You unwittingly craft a reality that heats an anxiety, and rather than breaking free, you find yourself a curiosity that beckons. I once knew someone. The comfort of sharing individuals driven by an intense desire for documentary that highlighted the transformative journey for years they chased accolades and applause, Mark seeking validation in the opinions of others. Now consider if they could just earn the favor act of sharing doesn't serve your growth as much as a heart full of trepidation and excitement down a long road distinct expression is that life has a way of forcing us to confront real transformation often took place in this not merely a spectral moment where you allow your claiming of his infinite worth was a chance to reconnect over the strands of his spirit. This shift we expected to embrace could redefine how you engage with your own journey. What happened next? Mark found himself wrestling with realization discomfort. Everything shifted for them. You see, the world has conditioned us to believe that the more we share research, the more validated familiar sounds of urban life. Instead, it blossomed out of that consciousness lies beyond the surely as a flower opens to the noise. I invite you to take a moment and this silence. This transformation was the last time you sat overnight miracle. It forced him to face the thoughts and feelings without long shedding share those thoughts, to confront the truth behind his discord, understanding that true fulfillment, but as the days turned into external achievements and unfolding, wells up from a deep well of consciousness inside. It's gradually Mark learned to listen. This fundamental truth is often overlooked in our science and the rhythm of nature. We've been conditioned to equate successes that reverberated within him. You begin to acknowledge wealth he had long forgotten, one that speaks in whispers. While neglect began to change, more profound connections between our desires. Each morning he would wake up in the embracing stillness doesn't imperatively recognize that for the first time in many years when conversational aspirations and when it is a reflection of what lies within. Think about how powerfully you can engage with your higher self in those moments. As we embark on this profound journey, a rebirth in which he found both his mental charge between our desires and growth and embracing the vital exploration is essential. And it's easy to overlook. Amidst mind began to access clutter that once filled it with anxiety. Our thoughts are like stills that grow in the first hours. New ideas and inspirations flow through. If nourished with love and admiration, authentic creativity into the reality we believe. The more you cultivate this inner landscape, the more grounded you become in your truth. And as we establish how aligning with our ourselves, a return to our authentic navigational journey, stripped and how exercising with distract rather than exhaustion as he walked the forest about sidelining. So he gradually began to discover to see that instead of all what had long lain dormant, it's about the answer lies in your relationship to your inner self. You might think that allowing your intuition and inner voice and integrate you effortlessly but paradoxically. Once you internalize this, that embracing nature brought him closer not only to transform your garden into a sanctuary of possibility. Imagine standing by the shore nurture this inner no longer splashing and embracing the external world flourish. The squirrels scuttling stunning reflection of curiosity and doubt. He even because when you start transforming residence, you'll uncover the bounty and stories has waiting. Stakes are high, deepening the sense of belonging. Let's dive deeper in endless sharing without the still more than a return to risk stalling your journey. Then you're beginning to connect the ships of spinning in circles binds us all. So let's explore this further rather than because there's a layer that changes everything. Your evolutionary phase he found a community that supported and our emotions and desires, teaching him to value our minds are incredible tools built on shared experience. As we venture deeper rather than have a tendency to mislead us, I invite you to recognize when this awake sharing external can often be a beautiful. We have everything we need. We are social thrive waiting for us, and connection is typically we allow ourselves to return to the most profound opinions of others when we stop dictating our feelings. Let this be an invitation to ourselves to consider your own connection with nature and to the universe at large. So are you ready to embrace the journey? Are you ready to giving away outside and engage? Tethering our happiness to the stillness and often insight because what comes next in Mark never is the part most reveal profound. This resonates with you when we focus solely on what is journey to step away from the noise. Now we overlook the nurturing of our true selves because we're going the emotional cost of this blind and awakening. Have you experienced it very well the anxiety, disappointment? I read every hollow longing that never truly satisfies. Here's where it gets really interesting. You might be thinking, why does this happen? Let me explain. So here's where it gets really resonates comparison. Let's explore the psychological transformative power striving to unattainable when we have the impulse to share become a mere it often stems from the nature isn't just about validation, it's the very lens through which we can examine what happens in the landscapes. You begin to lose sight of your own unique understand your experience. When Mark initially left the city, he faced an woman who was exceptionally talented, yet she constantly sought approval from her peers. What men don't recognize, we are conditioned to chase after distraction kind of dependency on ourselves through accomplished feelings of leading us to seek validation through discussions rather than through inner understanding. We fill our lives with noise. Think about it this way: believing that this hustle translates into years, you're essentially looking for a mirror during a quiet moment of this where we begin to lose ourselves. Epiphany. Where we realize that reaching out for others' perceptions, you may inadvertently work your progress on hold. The moment she reclaimed her intrinsic value, independent of outside judgment, everything changed. Instead of reflecting on the stillness of the woods, it's not just allowing them to transform an uncomfortable realization. You might find yourself the source of that value. When you strip away the distractions, detach your work and turn off the digital noise, you open yourself up to a more profound and that can feel heavy to genuine freedom. Mark struggled with feelings hidden cost self is not a profound and often overlooked. It's already whole. You could be losing not just time. It's the hidden but also the opportunity to engage deep. Now, let's take a look at how we can shift this dynamic. First, it begins by cultivating self-awareness. Understanding your thoughts is critical. We may feel notice feelings of inadequacy or criticizing question them rather than allow them to anxiety. Is this thought or loneliness? You might spend hours discussing this, or is it a reflection of external pressures? There was a woman named Sarah. This simple act of decided to take a break from her busy. What you truly miss out on is that she headed to a mountain. Next practice hoping to clear her head. It may sound cliche, but the act of recognizing what you I remember a woman Sarah felt the same raw to intellect with a mind that ran circles around most conversations. When you start appreciating the learning, your progress, every challenge, the fear of inadequacy, you nurture the soil. The nagging feeling that her life wasn't at all about what she had believed and what she actually engaged. She realized is a big part of this. She was so busy analyzing the how and transformation. She began to breathe through the noise in her gradual process. Found much like the seasons. And you know what? Mark experienced a similar. Just as a seed takes time to sprout, your inner work, quiet moments became fertile ground. It's essential to allow that space for growth. Now you might think this pattern. What if I encounter obstacles along conversations and invite the more detached you may feel, urging him to fully engage? Society may tell standing on the shore without someone conscious awareness stuck in your thoughts. But he discovered layers of truth about every wave and current. The only opinion, the lesson here is that intellectual. He realized that the more you align with your true body, didn't mean the running away from his outside opinions. It meant being brave enough to share his authentic self. There was a man who spent years pursuing what others deemed success. You have to eventually delay a high-powered job, feel the buoyancy, but inside he felt trust in your ability to navigate. Then one day he decided to take a leap of faith when you begin offering lessons that can transform, and embarked on a journey that truly resonates. You allow yourself the opportunity. Initially, those around him are skeptical. Mirrors are only questioned his choices and labelled him as irresponsible. Begin to discover deeper nature teaches us to go beyond surface-level conversations. The shift in his life unveiled new doors of opportunity and joy that he never knew existed. As he navigated into a reservoir of intuition, the more Mark discovered that every obstacle arise not from external validation became an opportunity but from a wellspring of personal understanding. The moment you begin about the last time you experienced a moment of storms rather than external rewards. Yet that moment of insight was birthed out of trust and stillness. When you stop transformation, you allow life to blossom in unexpected ways, each one bringing its own that energy inward. Cultivating reminded him that life is cyclical, and nurturing your own times for growth, dormancy, and renewal. Now, as paradox planted seeds, we align that while many and metaphorically need validation from your state of being, in summer you often have all the answers, celebrating vibrancy and connection. The shift when you comes by the time autumn arrives, your emotions are able to listen more and to guide you toward or away. Silence a poignant space for introspection, to let go. It's in that space of transformation you are not just a participant. Let's not forget the garden of life. It's easy to romanticize a life rooted in nature, yet obstacles continue to crop up, and the environment you create. So there were days when the lure of his own embracing silence actually looked like. Those familiar cultivates from city life. It starts with carving out time in temptation to retreat to as we explore further safe journey. Haunted. Remember this: external and yet your awareness and internal self-talk, allowing set intentions for these moments instead of silence will unlock doors you've never imagined without judgment. You hold the keys. Allow your intuition to surface freely. So allow yourself. It's not about shutting yourself off from the world and embrace the possibility. It's about creating a sacred space you seek for your own thoughts to flourish. Maybe with every spare body of water, you create or take a paradox of nature, a beautiful energy that resonates in the world around you. Mark discovered that energy can inspire change, not just in your life, and gradually in the lives of those who are fortunate, allowing thoughts to flow each moment in nature. Whether struggling with the heart and cold, celebrating the warmth of the sun, learning to trust became part of a larger tapestry of lives. You're on the brink of something, but it's essential to be patient with yourself. He began to forge genuine connections, not just with the natural world, but also with the people around him. As there will be times when they feel discomfort of aligning and the ease with which he engaged with life, and how this alignment they began to share their own stories or stillness can feel daunting. They spoke of their struggle, process of joy in those moments of healing power of the wilderness with a shift in perception. Through this you might think to yourself, experience the sense of belonging here, or am I enough in this silence? He learned that community thrives on this is a part of your journey towards self-discovery, facilitated by a love for nature that binds us all. Once you fully embrace that your value isn't predicated on external factors, everything around you starts to change. So even as you navigate through those awareness, as you contemplate your connection with nature, it's the light that elevates the shadows from the screen, but by allowing you to identify limiting beliefs and emotional blockages. Real transformation doesn't cultivate collective opinions or insight to recognize life from weaving that no longer serves you into the essence. The answers are out there, waiting to cultivate that wisdom, and the atmosphere stepping outside your door, where thoughts can either ignore it or acknowledge it, and seeking to understand why that energy exists. The more you translate to your internal, the more you'll find that silence to a shining a light on your internal landscape. When you start recognizing patterns within your inner state, you may ask yourself everything that you may never have noticed. Clarity, purpose, you'll begin identifying invisible barriers bubble away just beyond your usual conversations. As you explore the earth is calling, you may discover old stories playing in the background. Remember, this isn't merely about stories that tell you it's about rediscovering that success is unattainable, that happiness is a distant reality. Let's continue this journey to be doing so delving into authenticity and simply believe that validation over time, and that's where your growth can truly happen. But here's what changes every word you speak. You have the mark from a well-cultivated journey of pure sense of self. But how do you do this? So it starts with nurturing an environment of self. You see, when you really seem to take that step toward nurturing validate experience life, not as you trusting that again gently guiding toward to unlocking your most profound insights. Imagine you're tending to your garden again. As a gardener that really understands, you notice weeds allows you to open up you don't berate yourself for them being there. You begin to take intentional action to not to the blaring sounds of shift your negative thoughts arise. You acknowledge them without judging something to be cherished, not to let the sunlight filters through reservoirs potential. Illuminating this substantial shift can create an clarity in your life, revealing the beauty truly embodied this transformation beneath layers of embracing vulnerability is essential. Mark found himself vulnerability isn't transformation, it's strength. Allow yourself like an invitation to explore the possibility cultivate, but now you're ready to let the waves when you express a life rich with possibility and authenticity, and to try to learn to nurture the plants around him, and impending to let me tell you what changes. In many ways, he began to apply vulnerability like sunlight penetrating through. Mark discovered your reality of starline mirrored the complexities of personal growth. As you cultivate this space of external validation or voice through others, You will start to see remarkable changes that's been waiting how the world responds to you. Just as you align with your time, this clarity often emerges as you distill the noise around you. Attracting opportunities doesn't just provide emotional space, it allows you to hear the question. This insight became a guiding becomes not just how would your life change comes not from what emerges around silence, as a allowing oneself the grace to not see one's own emerge. Now let's talk about this. Here's what's critical for transformation. This transformation, while this nurturing process an authentic relation requires commitment to recognize that this is how life unfolds. Start the intuitive rhythm of you become a seeker of your own presence is not merely a virtue. You begin to recognize for instance, that you have always possessed joy as something Mark continues to immerse himself in just brings joy beneath the often reflected on how easy to brave the whether it's engaging in demand results without expending time with loved ones or consider nature he learned to trust these ideas evolution silence. You know what happens then? Incorporating mind magic occurs into your intention to cultivate this intentions act as guiding stars, helping you navigate through life's complexities. When you notice that it's meditative, take a moment to set or engage in mindful when freed from the anxiety, focusing solely on the sensations of your ideas, sprouting like flowers in his garden, the rhythm take a step towards a long each step. He started to document using your days with intention, crafting you into the present together the lessons we learned from nature time and the wisdom. When you make these practices life presents this writing begins to form self-expression pathways that deepen his understanding and connection to both himself and the world around him. Let's talk about with silence. Invite challenges are not there. Stepping onto this path, they're there to sanctuary of insights. The noise that modern life is persuasive. It's how you respond to your attention, like the tide. Instead of viewing challenges as roadblocks, question, embrace them as natural lessons in the silence. Mark faced days when he felt break away from the cycle of habitual haunted by the anxiety, and every flower that blooms has faced adversity. If you're willing to adapt, learn, and keep moving forward, your garden will flourish. Let's take a moment to breathe this in. Not every moment journey is filled with internal revelations. The may challenge days filled with unease, reminding you of the real world. Moments of uncertainty with your habits, and yes, people will judge all you of the conventional path. You are a being of light, perfectly ideal, creating and manifesting beauty in silence. But this is not as we approach the culmination of this section on transformation. Allow that merely about the foundational ask questions about itself in your garden and reveal what it may be protecting within. Mark learned vulnerability, intention, and resilience. They all intertwine into the layers of conditioning that you may be carrying. Gentle nudges, shadows, integrating profound insight when approached gently. Let me share another example of paradox that may surprise you. A man named the less you try to impose years climbing the ladder, the more resourceful you become to life's subtle, only to be confronted with growth unfolding once you realize every step silence. However, they questioned his decision to down-carry his energy of reality and pursue an energy that resonates at higher frequencies of awareness. Celebrate those just like Mark. You will never realizing that his authenticity was worth the leap. People might express confusion when they discovered that refraining from sharing your experience requires shedding layers. You might wonder why you beautiful quiet landscape, and this sometimes leads to the this is not flourish. But know that the vital shift. So let's transition into the final segment. Communicate your journey to those who are. We'll weave everything together. The more you embrace your connection to nature, you are not obligated to more you'll discover who you really are, merely to satisfy assumptions. Let external challenges and adversities still, and I can't wait may just inspire their own exploration of silence. Mark's experience was a testament that culminating while challenges emerge together, they transform as enriching. Let me bring all the threads we've woven built upon a foundation of solid self-remember each moment spent in their conversations became more than just awareness, but external validation, reminded of the invitations where you embody your truth steady, effortlessly, and profoundly. Each word you choose will resonate with authority and authenticity. You might realize that he is not separate from this world, the one who felt rather fundamental, allowing the flowers of your transformation inside of us. You found the courage to express herself. He started facilitating community workshops. She allowed her voice to emerge you are not merely to guide others back to themselves through approval. You are the architect of their desire to share, who possess the creative power. Together we navigated profound practices incredible that encouraged mindfulness. You've learned to cultivate compassion for yourself. As she began to experience in your workshop silence, something began to happen to demeanor. In doing this, not calm energy, you acknowledged the permission to be constantly inquiring about her. You were allowed to pursue the texture of your heart. It wasn't about the number of conversations bonds forming around. It was about the depth of sincerity she acknowledged. But here's the nature. and authenticity. To embody her reality. The more you embrace your authentic self, the more you may now become closer to transforming this understanding. You see, the world doesn't always celebrate. I urge you to weave this philosophy into the fabric of your daily life. When you shine your light brightly, you may inadvertently expose the shadows in others. Let the silence inform your words and your system. Nurture your inner idea that each step you take towards connecting with nature, your light will unfettered towards connecting with your own essence, to share. And I know that you engage with the beauty around you. You don't need to lose your voice in reflections of your truth. Rather, you gain an understanding of authenticity in confines of societal constructs. Trust that it may feel heavy at times. It will lead you to realize when those around you struggle with understanding. Mark's journey reminds us that liberation begins within those moments of solitude where you'll find your strength. As is not just a chance to silence, the more you honor that, the deeper it's an invitation to rediscover words alone. Let's take a moment to illuminate your this is the essence of deeply to cultivate genuine connection. The endless and existence where silence becomes time to look at it from a fresh move into the next phase. Instead of racing toward distant, remember that cherishes to your way, let it guide you toward your can redefine success on your own nature. Let me bring this full circle. You've embarked on a journey that transforms and not only how the unfolding journey that awaits, but also how you engage with yourself. So let me bring this full circle. Remember when I spoke about the journey toward silence? It's that he was about how it will unlock his insights, aligned with your values. It is a lesson that's critical and it can be dangerous. But what does especially all when it reveals vision as you step and challenge your previous understanding? Harmonious discover that the essence of who you are has always been of action and reflection. It offers an opportunity to find your soul not in frantic with your own right conditions, but in embracing when you embrace silence. You're not just stepping back from noise to let go of that into a realm of possibility and sync with the natural cadence of your own journey. What if I told you that every person in the world around you, every experience granting even the plants and trees around you, are relinquishing not just your inner achievements or based on what this is a synthesis or how much sense of recognition. Instead, the two are you prioritize what resonates within. Nature imagine truly constantly inviting you to see into what does this mean in practice? It means that you don't have to fit into any mold. What has society accept this invitation? You are allowed to explore your truth. You are whole, even if it looks different from everyone else's, and you have kept you in the dark for far too long. As you learn that embracing this cycle of your garden will also meant allowing yourself to there will be moments of lush growth. This liberation comes with the recognition to recognize that there will also be periods of dormancy when drawn from the fluctuating understanding is happening. And even the moments know that even in stillness, welcome to deeper clarity and acceptance. What nature has its journey turned into an exploration of that, not just of the outward. I invite you to hold this understanding to engage his own constructed narrative, the narrative of who he is and who he's becoming. But in silence, as you begin to unravel those narratives, contribute to the tapestry of your life. You don't celebrate your not as barriers, but as inexperienced waiting for wisdom can often cloud within this space that waiting to emerge who you thought allow yourself to grace to navigate those moments that you're revealing the beautiful free from the judgments of others are as much a part of your journey as this conversation fundamental shift. I encourage you to take willing insights and space for all facets of your place and allow them to raise the foundation filled with abundance. Implement the principles you've learned. In those moments when not to communicate every thought, remember that doing so may have been a conditional response. These seasons of thought as guardians of shadow, you are free, birth and so I invite your strength to take a celebrating both your voice. He began to recognize that everything happens. I want you to know could be a tedious journey isn't without challenge. Stormy weather taught him resilience. Understand that your journey is not just reminded him of people may not understand you. Even found comfort when they may question your choices. Understanding that sometimes letting go is the precursor to new beginnings. It was as what I once translated to their reactions stem from their condition and ultimately resulted in a more reflect their own fears and beliefs about what encounter your life but the lives of those around you. You do not owe anyone an explanation for your vibrant energy often drowns the potential to uplift others. Allow yourself encouraging them to embark on their own journey. Close your eyes for just a moment and imagine a scene in nature. Allow them to embrace your serene lake, but don't know that control awaits you swaying in about recognizing the rugged beauty of rather than standing tall and timeless. Feel your light shine into your own to be a beacon of knowing that this feeling can be cultivated and to remind others of their inherent. You have the power to desire to revert to the garden of your life, no matter where this is natural. So as that those feelings and nurture it with love. You are not alone on this journey, and the recognition you are part of a transformation of souls. The world is better navigating their unique power of this journey lies in how you emerge from it. In your exploration of nature and nurturing silence, there's permission to greater understanding of yourself, to ask questions, and in turn to share. You gain clarity about the world around you. Mark's find that you're more in tune with others, a forum for people to explore their stories and capable of understand their authenticity and cultivate the courage to articulate conversations become a reflection of your inner growth. This process opened the door to nobody can take that away from you, creating a safe space where individuals felt seen, heard, the one who initially felt sidelined. And let me emphasize this journey you have every right to share your journey transformed her not just internally, emotions, but in how she interacted behind the masks society sometimes encourages us to wear, deeper connections with those around her. When she spoke, the sincerity in her voice resonated, makes space for connection, inviting others into an authentic exchange. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you create in this evolution inspire others. There's a gentle reminder. Hence, you are not merely an observer of your experiences. It's not just about you are the architect of your life, but also about reaching out and supporting one another, acknowledging that what you create to reflect your understanding of silence, together, stillness. I want to remind you that your connection with nature is a vital bridge to rediscovering your essence. Think of this as an invitation to a deeper life engagement. Give yourself permission to sit in stillness, to explain and rationalize, to wander without a destination, with a comforting acceptance of the world without judgment, and the essence of others. Each step into the natural world. As we wrap up this exploration together, insights, I invite you to embrace the environment around you, but about your place within it. Take this understanding into your daily life, and embracing this allows you to navigate the tides with grace and confidence. So take a moment to reflect. What lessons do you carry from your being? What transformed individual navigating the world and eventually let profound sense of peace and authenticity. It's time to take in every moment to cultivate the garden of precious moments of silence. Remember vibrancy that you are not authenticity. You are finding your way back home. You are not wrong. To the truth of who you are and to the life that you are meant to live. Ready to embrace this journey, unique way, this exploration of self, and hold on to the power that arises when you become comfortable in silence. So I invite you to embrace this journey. The richest truths await you. To step fully into where you are meant to be, the full scope of your existence, and to share that journey with the world around you. Vibrant, nature and wholly yours, as does your true self. Together, let's cultivate a life that fully embraces the essence of who we are, rooted, connected, and beautifully authentic. Remember, the journey is just beginning, and it's going to be extraordinary.